Today we're going to learn how to make the ultimate cold brew green tea. You can use this technique to create refreshing cups of green tea to enjoy on warmer days. You may even prefer the flavor to warm teas. For this, I'll be using a tea we discovered in Chiran, a small village in southern Japan. The tea farmers we met told me this tea is designed to be the ultimate tea for cold brewing. You see, the problem with a lot of cold brew teas is that they lack the raw strength of teas brewed with hot water. The water just doesn't extract as much from the leaves. Some green teas taste watered down when you brew them with cold water, but not this one. This is the Shizuku Sencha. It's made by mixing green tea leaves with matcha powder. If you take a look at the leaves, you'll notice a fine dusting of matcha powder. This powder is released into the water to create a rich, cloudy green infusion and a bold flavor. The tea also works very well when you brew it with hot water, but the taste is completely different. We're going to prepare the Shizuku Sencha once as a cold brew and once as a hot brew to see how the flavor compares. We'll also talk about why the flavors are so different. But first, how do you cold brew green tea? If you really want to get serious about cold brew green tea, you can get a pitcher like this with a built-in filter, but you can also just brew the tea in a glass. Add in 5 to 10 grams of tea leaves, depending on how strong you like the tea, and then add in 500 milliliters of cool filtered water. We recommend you get a scale so you can use more exact measurements for your tea, but if you don't have one, you can use 1 to 2 tablespoons of tea leaves and 2 cups of water. Let this tea brew for 1 to 3 hours, and when the brewing time is up, you can pour the tea out through a strainer and enjoy your cup of cold brewed tea. You can see even after a short brewing time, the cold brewed Shizuku Sencha already takes on a deep jade green color, and this is because of the matcha powder. So before we try this cold brew tea, I also want to prepare the tea using hot water as well. I'll be using water at a temperature of 70 degrees Celsius or 160 degrees Fahrenheit and a brewing time of 1 minute. You can see the matcha is mixing into the water while the leaves are being extracted. I'm going to pour this out and compare the two teas, but before we get to that, if you're enjoying this video so far, it would really mean a lot to us if you could like the video and subscribe to learn more about tea every week. Now, if you take a look at the color, there's not a whole lot of difference between the two. This is because the color is mostly coming from the matcha powder, which is mixed into the water regardless of the temperature. The taste, however, is a different story. The cold brew tea is smooth, sweet, and fruity, almost tropical. There are notes of cucumber in this tea, but mostly it's smooth and refreshing. The warm tea has a bit more character to it. It has a stronger body, it's more vegetal, and it has a light floral note as well. There's more flavor overall, but it has a little bit of dryness in the finish, which some people don't like in a tea. So what's going on here? The brewing temperature not only influences the temperature of the tea, but also what is extracted from the leaves. This means that the brewing parameters are almost like a recipe. It determines what ingredients end up in your cup of tea. Certain components in the tea leaf, like catechins and polyphenols, are harder to extract, and they require hotter temperatures. They also produce bitter flavors, and this is why hot brewed teas tend to be a little bit more bitter than cold brewed teas. Theanine, which gives the tea its sweet and savory flavor, can be extracted at lower temperatures. For this reason, cold brewed teas take on a sweet, refreshing, and almost fruity flavor without the bitterness you might get from a typical hot brewed tea. The matcha powder will be mixed in regardless, but don't forget that matcha is made from tiny leaf particles, so it will also release bitterness if the water is too hot. So there's a lot going on inside these simple teacups, but don't worry, you can let the leaves do all the hard work. All you need to think about is water temperature, leaf to water ratio, and brewing time. If you want to brew green tea with hot water, make sure that you're not boiling it. Boiling water will release too much bitterness into the tea and it will quickly overpower the flavor. If you want a well-rounded and nuanced cup of green tea, you'll want to keep the temperature low between 60 to 80 degrees Celsius or 140 to 175 degrees Fahrenheit. Even at these lower temperatures, you want to keep the brewing time to about 1 minute, otherwise the tea can still become bitter. When you're brewing with room temperature or cold water, you can allow the tea to brew for much longer without it getting bitter. If you cold brew the tea overnight, for example, you may wake up to a bitter surprise, but anywhere in between 1 to 3 hours should be perfectly fine. The teas that work best for cold brewing are, of course, the Shizuku Sencha, but also Fukumushi Sencha, like the Yamaga no Sato. This is known as a deep steam tea because it's steamed for a longer time. During the longer steaming time, the leaves are broken down, so they release more of their flavor into the cup, ensuring that you have plenty of flavor in your cold brew. Gyokuro tends to also work well because the leaves are so high in theanine, and this is what leads to a lot of the flavors in cold brewed teas. We like the Gyokuro Sasahime, which is a blended Gyokuro made by the farmer Mr. Sakamoto in Shibushi. Anyways, I hope you found this guide helpful. If you want to try the Shizuku Sencha, you can find it on our website, neoteas.com. After trying dozens of teas as cold brews, this is the best and most flavorful one we've found. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time.